got to talk about something real important. This is a theory by yours truly that I came up with, that I've been coming up with. I presented this for the first time in college like 2 years ago, a little tipsy, and people thought it was kind of true. So I want to present a more kind of, you know, intellectual version of that. Micro generations. It's something I've been thinking about a lot. Do you feel like, when sociologists kind of like put groupings on things, they're like Gen X, 1969 through 1985, millennials, 1985 through 1996, Gen Z, 1996 through 2011, right? Like, those are pretty big ass groups of people. I mean, I get it, why sociologists do it, right? They need to find trends, and they need at least 20 years or whatever it is, for their graphs to make sense. And they need a lot of data. You can't just do this. But I thought to myself, I was like, hold the phone. Gen Z doesn't make any sense. Typically, Gen Z is defined as 1995 through 2011. Okay, like if you were born during those years, you are Gen Z. I don't think it makes sense. Here's why. The kid in 1995 is, help me out, 26, I think. God damn it, I can't do math. 26, some mid-20s, okay? He's living his life. He's probably working from home. He lives in a fucking, whatever. Out of college 3 years ago. He's trying to figure it out. Kid in 2011, she's 9 years old right now. Turning 10. She's having her 10th birthday. Her probably Fortnite themed. What the hell does 2011 have in common with 1996 kid? 1996 kid is, working from home. 2011 kid is having her 10th birthday party on Zoom. There's no fucking, there is no correlation that you can take and be like, all right, the 1996 kid and the 2011 kid have this in common. No. So that's why I came up with the idea of micro generations. Okay. I think there are generations within generations, and I believe this. And I think the micro generations are anywhere from about 4 to 5 years. So let's stick with this hypothetical, right? I don't really know too many people that were born in the late 80s. Okay. That's not necessarily my target demographic of person. That's not really the target person that I interact with, okay, so to speak. The people I interact with are mostly from 1990 to on, okay? So 1990 to 1994 can be its own microgeneration, okay? 94 to 98 can be its own microgeneration. 98 to 2002. That's my generation, okay? So let's stick with these two that we talked about. So 94 to 98 is its own generation. I believe that 94 to 98 is its own generation. If you were born between the years of 1994 and 1998, you're very different from the people that were born between the years of 1998 and 2002, okay? You're very freaking different. If you were born, like 1994 to 1998 was kind of in that weird era of like, they experienced the latter half of the 90s a little bit for some of them. And then they really experienced the 2000s, the full Avril Lavigne punk rock era, all of that stuff. They were full in it. They were full in that dyed hair goth era of music. And I'm talking like music and pop culture because I think this is what like most people can kind of, get behind. 1990, and then like, what is the other one? 1998 to 2002. Yeah, okay. 98 to 2002. This is its whole separate generation. I like to call this microgeneration the Directioners, okay? I think they're very much like, because this was how the band One Direction, these were the people they profited off the most, okay? It was the Directioners. It was the people born between the years of 1998 and 2002. I mean, we're the ones that remember One Direction the most, right? Because 94 to 98 was kind of a little older when One Direction came out. They were like in college and stuff, so they weren't really boy band crushing. We were in the thick. If you were born in 2000 or 2001 or 2002, you were in the thick of that generation of One Direction in middle school, right? You were listening to Hey Girl, I'm Waiting on You in middle school. You were listening to And Live While We're Young and fucking Let Me Kiss You, like all throughout middle school. And as much as the guys hated to admit that they liked One Direction, when their parents weren't home and when there was no girls around, they would blast, you don't know you're beautiful and jam out to that shit. Okay, I did. I was in 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade. I was blasting 1D. I do not hide the fact that I was big into One Direction and that there were many girls in my grade that were wearing Liam Payne backpacks in my day. That happened. Okay. So I think we're the Directioners. I think 94 to 98 is this like punk rock generation. 2002 to 2006, dude, I see it, bro. I interact with people from 2003 to 2004, 2000, who were born between the years of 2003 and to 2006, actually a significant amount because I work with a lot of high school kids. They're very, very different. Okay. This one kid I interact with, I'm not going to name names, but he'll know who he is if he listens to this. I was talking about Elton John to someone, and he was like, "Oh yeah, my brother's girlfriend told me about him. He sounded pretty cool." And that's when I was like, "Okay, yeah, we are not in the same generation. There is a micro generation here. There is a clear gap. You don't know OG Rihanna. You don't know OG Elton John. You didn't grow up with 90s bands, even though you were born in 2000. You don't know that shit, bro. You don't know that shit. You grew up with fucking What Does the Fox Say in elementary school, okay? You did not grow up with what I grew up with in elementary school. You didn't grow up with TikTok on the clock. You grew up with What Does the Fox Say? So that's what you grew up with. That is why I believe microgenerations are a thing, because we grew up with completely different pop culture things. Economically, our trends could be the same, sure. And I think for big picture sociological things that aren't serious, microgenerations don't work. But I believe that in terms of like things that we've experienced in our childhood, when it comes to pop culture moments, when it comes to sports moments, when it comes to like actual big picture news moments, microgenerations work. And they are a thing, and they should be, because me and my brother should not be both designated as Gen Z because we grew up in very different eras of life at time. And I think he would agree with that as well. So that's my microgeneration theory. I know I'm gone over, so I'm just going to...